What comes to your mind when you think of an object? A chair? A phone? Something you can actually touch? And that makes sense because in real life, objects are physical things. But in JavaScript, an object isn't something you hold, it's something you describe. And that's where a lot of people get confused because JavaScript uses the word object, but it doesn't mean it the way we usually do. So, in this video, we are going to break down what objects actually are, why JavaScript uses them everywhere, and why understanding objects makes rest of the JavaScript much easier. And don't worry, we're making this simple, practical, and we're not going to make life harder than it needs to be. Objects can get deep. There's something like prototypes, inheritance, delegation, very powerful, very confusing if you rush into it. But today, we're focusing on what you actually need to understand right now. If you want the advanced stuff later, cool. You can let me know in the comments or I'll link good source in the description. For now, let's build a solid foundation without emotional damage. Let's find out what an object really is. At its core, a JavaScript object is just like a container for related data. Think of it like a school bag. The bag itself isn't special. What matters is what's inside it. Each thing inside has a label, and that label points to some value. Here's a simple example. We're making an object in here, so think of everything that you actually put in the bag. Let's just say for now you have 6 books, and we define it by using colon and separate those properties inside it by using commas. Let's just say you have pen right now, so let's say it's true. And again, separate it with comma. Let's just say that you don't need the laptop today. It's false. What else do you keep in the bag? Snacks? Well, let's just say yes. Books, pens, snacks, and laptop are property names. 6, true, false, and yes are property values. That's it. That's an object. No magic, no mystery. Now, the important question is, why do objects exist at all? Because real life is not made of single values. A person isn't just a name. A person has an age, hobbies, maybe an address, maybe even personality. So instead of writing random disconnected variables like this, we group them together like this. And objects let JavaScript represent real world things in a clean way. That's why they're everywhere. Now let's talk about simple type versus object. JavaScript has simple types: numbers, strings, booleans, null, and undefined. They are immutable, which means they don't change. And for example, let's take this. Let name equals Shreya. Let's say we use small s for now. And if we do this, this doesn't work because numbers don't change and strings, you guessed it, they don't change either, but objects do. Here's an example. Let user equals score. First the score was something, but it changed, and this actually works. Why? Because objects represent things that change over time. User scores change, profiles update, settings get modified. If objects were immutable, well, JavaScript would be painful to use. Now let's talk about how accessing data in JavaScript actually works. There are two main ways to access object data: dot notation and bracket notation. To access data using dot notation, users simply do a person dot name. As simple as that. You've accessed the name of the person from an object. And there's bracket notation. And we can access this bracket notation by doing person, putting the big bracket up for the chase, and we write the name inside inverted commas. Now let's talk about what's the difference between dot notation and bracket notation. Well, dot notation is clean and readable. Use it wherever you want. But bracket notation exists for a reason. Sometimes you don't know the property name in advance. So in that case, we just do let key equals email. For example, you don't know the email, then you can just simply update the email by accessing the email from key. This is extremely common in real application. So dot notation are simple and readable. Bracket notation are flexible and powerful. So the key point is they both matter. And now, let's talk about undefined and default values in JavaScript. What happens if you try to read something that doesn't exist? Well, JavaScript doesn't crash. Let's say you wanted to access the middle name of the person and you did person.middlename, but that doesn't exist. Or let's say it's undefined, and undefined is JavaScript saying this property doesn't exist. And that's actually a good thing. It allows your program to decide what to do next. For example, let middle equals person.middlename or none. What we're doing in this program is we are trying to access the middle name from the field middle name, and we are putting it inside another variable named middle. If the person has the middle name, then the middle name will be assigned to the variable middle, but a person doesn't have a middle name, then it will be just set as default as none. This pattern is everywhere, especially when working with APIs and user data. Now let's talk about how objects can be written inside an object. And that's how real-world data actually is. Objects can contain other objects. Let's say a person wants to order something from somewhere. For that, let's write a simple object. Let order equals user, because the user ordered something and they have an address and we put city in the address. And that's how the nested object works. This might look boring for now, but this is how real backend data looks. APIs, databases, front-end state, all of it uses nested objects. Once you understand this, JSON suddenly stops being scary. Now, there is something deeper under the hood: prototypes. Here's the idea. JavaScript lets objects share behavior instead of copying it again and again. Kind of like inheritance in families. A child inherits property or behavior from their parents. In this case, we are also saying the child inherits the property from the parent. And that's all you need to know for now. We are not opening that box today, and that's intentional. If you use React, Node, or any modern framework, you are working with objects constantly. Understanding objects make state management easier, APIs easier, debugging easier. This is one of those concepts that pays off again and again. You don't need to master objects today. You just need to understand why they exist, how to use them comfortably. If you want a deeper video on prototypes or a part 2 on objects, let me know in the comments. Learn JavaScript step by step, not all at once. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!